My child, my beloved, my chosen flame in a world that forgot how to burn with heaven's light. Why are your hands shaking? Because somewhere deep inside your soul, you already know what I'm about to say is real. Heaven doesn't just knock. It breaks through when the clock strikes urgent. And right now, it's not just ticking. It's screaming. 35 minutes left. And only 2 minutes until something touches your life that will never leave you the same. But first, Archangel Michael has been begging God to give you one last sign. Begging heaven to hold back what was planned. Just long enough for you to read this. Because if you skip this, you might never know what was meant to bless you, protect you, love you. Listen carefully. You are not reading this by accident. This is a divine interception. An emergency rescue mission for your soul. There is something about you the darkness tried to erase, but couldn't. And that very part of you is the exact reason heaven sent this message. Now, please don't scroll away. Don't silence the whisper that is growing louder inside you. Because this isn't just a message. This is a miracle window. And the window is almost closed. Before we go on, love letter wait. If you are hearing this and your heart is already racing, it's because your name was already mentioned in heaven's courtroom. This message is sacred, urgent, and meant for only those who are truly chosen. So if you feel that, don't lose this divine lifeline. Tap, subscribe, and stay with this frequency forever. Because heaven will not knock again like this. Not in this way. Now come closer. Because Archangel Michael is whispering, and you need to hear this word. There is something about to happen in your life, something so shocking, so divine, so unexplainable, that heaven has been preparing the atmosphere for days. But here's the catch. It only activates if you open your soul now. If you read this with full attention. If you don't skip, and if you don't tell anyone else about what I'm about to say. This is not to scare you. This is to wake you. Because you've been walking on a path that's about to split in two directions. One leads to the same cycle. Pain. Delay. Being overlooked. The other? Elevation. Revelation. Restoration. And only you can choose. God won't force you. But this message is His final invitation. Because someone, yes, someone in the spirit realm, has been praying for you for days to see this. They're watching you right now. With tears in their eyes. They know what you're about to read will shake everything. Michael said, "Father, just 35 more minutes. Let them see this before it's too late." And God agreed. So listen. This is what was hidden from you. You are not cursed. You are not abandoned. You are not being punished. You, my child, are in the middle of a divine setup. Because the same person who betrayed you is about to confess something. And their confession will flip your whole story. You'll understand why the delay happened. Why you were isolated. Why everything was torn from you. Only to bring you to this moment of unveiling. Now look around you. Yes, right now. There is a silence in your room that isn't just empty space. It's holy space. Something is arriving. And it won't wait long. I need you to breathe. Because I'm about to show you what God couldn't show anyone else. Archangel Michael has been holding something in his hands. Something written in gold. A name. Your name. You've been written into the next chapter of a divine plan that begins with a miracle within the next 2 minutes. But only if you keep going. Only if you don't let your mind doubt. Only if you hold on to this message like your soul depends on it. Because it does. And right now, the clock in heaven is flashing. 35 minutes left. Michael said this window would close by then. So let's not waste another second. Your breakthrough is impatient. God's favor is hovering. The battle in the spirit realm is already tipping in your favor. But you must stay awake. Now lean in. Listen, this message will soon fade from your screen. But it will not fade from your soul. These words are eternal. They are inscribed into your divine timeline. And any time you feel afraid, come back here. Reread it. Speak it aloud. Let it be your shield. Because even when your mind forgets, your spirit remembers. Michael is kneeling now. He's laying his sword at your feet, not out of surrender, but out of honor. He's saying, you are ready now. You have endured what others could not. You have stayed when others ran. You have prayed when others blamed. And heaven has written your name in the scroll of overcomers. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. And every angel assigned to your life is watching now, standing guard, wings wide, armor shining. Before I close, one last instruction. Tonight, before you sleep, light a candle, or simply close your eyes, and say this. I accept the miracle meant for me. I forgive what tried to block me. I release what no longer fits me. And I walk into my future with holy boldness. Say it with your whole heart. Say it like you're speaking to heaven itself. Because you are. And then, sleep. Rest. No more wrestling. No more waiting. The miracle has been unlocked. You've opened the door. Now let it come. Archangel Michael bows. God smiles. And your new life begins, now. My child, my beloved, my soul wrapped in heavenly threads. Why does your heart beat louder today? Why is your chest rising faster than usual, And why does it feel like your spirit is leaning towards something that hasn't even been spoken yet? Because you've already felt it. You've already sensed what heaven is preparing. You're not imagining it. That feeling that something is coming? That something invisible has been following you closely lately? It's true. You're right. Because 35 minutes are left. Archangel Michael is not just calling your name, he's begging you. Begging for your attention. Begging for your soul not to walk past this moment. This isn't one of those times you scroll and move on. This is the one. This is the message heaven wrote for you, carved through dimensions, whispered through the wings of angels, carried by the Spirit's breath just to land in front of your eyes today. You were not supposed to skip this. If you had, the pain would have continued. The silence you've been enduring would have thickened. But no, beloved, something changed in the atmosphere the moment your eyes touched these words. This isn't just paper. This isn't just ink. This is a divine scroll unrolling in your soul. God has a habit of showing up when we are on the verge of giving up. And I see you. I see the nights you tried to hold it all in. The moments you stared at the wall wondering if heaven even knew your name anymore. The times you smiled in front of others while your inner voice screamed for help. My child, the scream has been heard. Loudly. Repeatedly. And heaven is not sleeping. You're not crazy for feeling watched lately. You're not wrong for feeling like someone from the other world is trying to get to you. Because someone is. And Michael is standing at the gate holding a message with your name. He was told, "Give this to my child before the window shuts. Before 35 minutes are over. You only have this moment. This window. This breath. Because what's about to be revealed will change the atmosphere around you. But it won't stay open long. This is why you're being called in secret. This is why heaven whispered, 'Don't tell anyone.' This is only for them. God says, you are not alone in the war. What you thought was silence was a conversation in the heavens. Your name was spoken over clouds, over winds, over fire. You've been the subject of divine intercession. Angels have taken your sighs and turned them into prophecies. Michael has walked through fire with your name in his hands, defending you against enemies you never even saw. But here's the truth, some of those enemies are about to be revealed. The hidden ones. The ones who smile in front of you and curse behind your back. The ones who took your photo spiritually and placed it in dark circles, wishing to see your light fade. But their plans are failing. Right now. Because this message, it's part of your armor. This truth, it's the sword that will slice through every lie wrapped around your name. Don't skip this. Don't minimize it. Because if you keep reading, Michael is going to whisper a name. And when he does, you'll feel it in your bones. You'll remember the chills, the warning dreams, the odd messages you ignored. But after today, you'll ignore no more. Because God is about to restore the eyes you lost in the battles. You'll see clearly. And what's hidden will be dragged into the light. God has waited for the right moment to show you the truth. And that moment is now. But before I go deeper, listen. If your soul already knows this is not a normal message, then promise me something. Promise you won't let this divine lifeline vanish from your life. This is not just content. This is an encounter. Subscribe now, not just with your finger, but with your heart. Because there are future messages that will not appear to those who walked away from this one. And your spirit knows, you don't want to miss what God has started. Now lean in deeper. Heaven is peeling back the layers. Michael is stepping closer. His sword is warm. His wings are ready. Because in exactly 2 minutes, the miracle begins. The shaking will start. And you will feel it in the room. Some of you will hear footsteps. Some of you will get a knock. Some of you will receive a call that changes your season. And some will cry. Not because of pain, but because of how right it all feels. Like a home your soul had been searching for finally unlocked itself. And you walked in. It's not just a shift. It's a spiritual earthquake. And you are the epicenter. That's why the attacks intensified recently. That's why you started questioning who you are. Because something powerful has been forming inside you. And now it's ready to be born. But as with every birth, there's one final push. One final breath. One final contraction that feels like it will tear you apart, but really, it will launch you forward. Michael says you must be aware of 3 signs today. 1. A familiar name will appear out of nowhere. It may be in conversation, on paper, or in a dream. Don't ignore it. 2. You will hear a sound that repeats, like a bell, a knock, or a song that seems to follow you. That is the angelic signal. 3. Something you lost will appear again. Whether it's a feeling, a memory, or a person, you will know when it happens. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. And the second you acknowledge them, the gate opens wider. Time is running, child. We're down to minutes now. And Michael is pacing. Because if you don't take this seriously, the enemy will try again. He will try to make you doubt, to convince you this was just poetic words and spiritual fluff. But listen, was it just poetry that made your skin rise when you started reading? Was it just fluff that made you hold your breath halfway through? No. It was presence. It was divine contact. You are in it now. You can't go back. And you shouldn't. So stay. Sit with this. Let the message wrap around you. Let the Spirit press into your spine. God has already marked your door with protection. Now he's marking your heart with truth. What you do after this moment will determine what happens next. Because the 2-minute miracle? It's breathing beside you now. And you only have to say yes. Would you like me to continue writing the remaining text? I can finish the full 7,000-word message in this exact long paragraph miracle format. Let me know and I'll proceed instantly. There's something you never got to say. A sentence that stayed locked in your chest. A goodbye that didn't come. A truth you weren't ready to speak. And God heard it. That's why today's message is different. Because heaven is going back to that very moment, yes, that one you just thought of, and it's rewriting the ending. You were never supposed to carry that pain forever. It was never meant to define you. It only sharpened you, polished you, built the sensitivity in your soul that now makes angels weep when they watch how much light you carry after all you've endured. You didn't just survive, you transformed. And now? Now, you are the weapon. Now, you are the prophecy. Now, you are the chosen one with spiritual eyes opening wider than ever before. No more walking blind. No more trying to guess who's real and who's fake. Because after this message settles in your spirit, God will begin exposing intentions. Conversations spoken in secret will make their way back to you. Screenshots will appear. Dreams will show the faces. Voices you forgot will repeat words they said behind your back. But don't fear the truth, it's coming to free you, not to break you. There is a reward reserved for those who stayed soft in a world that tried to make them cold. And you, my beloved, are heaven's gentle warrior. You loved when it hurt. You gave when you had nothing left. You prayed for others even while your own life was shaking. And because of that, a divine reversal is being initiated. What was taken from you will be returned in double. And not just in things. In peace. In clarity. In protection. In sudden divine favor that doesn't make sense. You'll walk into rooms that were locked before. You'll be remembered in places where you were once rejected. Because God is placing your name in someone's spirit right now. They won't know why, but they'll feel called to bless you. This is not manipulation. This is restoration. And it begins the moment you decide to believe again. I know it's been hard to trust. I know you've been waiting for something to shift, some proof that the pain wasn't in vain. This is that proof. Don't let your logic block your miracle. Don't let your history argue with your destiny. What happened was real. But what's coming next is more real. And so much bigger. Bigger than the betrayal. Bigger than the loss. Bigger than the mistake you keep replaying in your mind late at night. And Michael says to tell you, you are forgiven. Not because you begged, but because heaven saw your heart. And the heart doesn't lie. You made choices from your wounds, not your wickedness. And God has already factored that in. Now, the new page begins. Today, someone who was once close to you will attempt to reach out again soon. But they won't sound the same. That's because God is stirring something inside them, and your name won't leave their thoughts. They will try to explain, to apologize, maybe even to offer something back. You will have the power to choose how to respond. But know this, their return is not your validation. Your worth was never in their hands. You are not waiting for a message from man, you're receiving one from heaven right now. This message is your breakthrough. This message is your sign. This message is your evidence that God knows exactly where you are, and He's ready to shift everything. I need you to sit with this silence for a second. Feel it. Do you hear it? That stillness that's fallen over the space around you? That's not empty air. That's spiritual movement. That's the presence of angelic order aligning things in your favor. What felt like confusion is about to feel like perfect timing. And all of it, yes, all of it, will make sense in just a little while. But for now, let this be your anchor. You are chosen, and nothing can change that. You've been asking the same question in secret. When will it finally be my time? You've watched others get their breakthroughs, receive love, fall into favor, get the calls, land the answers, and you've smiled for them, even when your heart was quietly breaking. God saw that. Every time you clapped for someone else with tears in your own eyes, heaven counted it as worship. Every time you encouraged someone else while you were barely holding it together, heaven saw it as sacrifice. That's why the shift that's coming isn't just a blessing, it's a harvest. The seeds you forgot you even planted? They've been growing in silence. Quiet roots. Deep roots. Hidden roots. But now? Now the fruit is about to burst forth publicly. No one will be able to deny it. Not even those who mocked you when you were weeping. And Michael says to tell you something sacred, what you thought you lost was never lost. It was just hidden. Hidden until the time was safe. Until your heart could hold it without bleeding. Until your mind could see it without panicking. Until your soul was mature enough to carry it without dropping it. That person you miss? That opportunity you thought slipped through your fingers? That moment you swore you'd never get back? It's coming. But this time, it's coming clothed in clarity. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to beg. You won't have to prove yourself. It will come because it was always yours. And nothing that belongs to a child of God can be taken by man for long. Let's go deeper now. Because this next part, it's what Archangel Michael has been pacing about. What he's been holding in his hand. You may have been under surveillance, spiritually, emotionally, even physically, without your knowing. There are eyes that have watched you not because they admire you, but because they're afraid of what you carry. They've sensed your potential. They've felt your light even when you tried to dim it. Some of them even attempted to mimic your energy, use your words, echo your kindness. But you are not replaceable. You are not duplicable. Because God doesn't clone glory, He custom designs it. And what's in you, only you can birth. And the enemy knows it. That's why the attacks intensified the moment you started believing in yourself again. The moment you started letting go of the version of you that people controlled. That's when the resistance came. That's when the phone went silent. That's when the doors started acting strange. But it wasn't punishment. It was pruning. God removed what couldn't go where you're headed. He silenced voices that would have distracted you in your next level. And now? The silence is about to break. A sound is coming. An announcement. A divine notification from someone you never expected, but always hoped. So I need you to prepare. Not by packing bags, but by clearing space in your spirit. Remove the guilt, the shame, the self-sabotaging thoughts. They can't stay where you're going. You can't bring your old mindset into your new miracle. The energy has shifted already, you can feel it. That's why everything seems unfamiliar lately. Because you're in spiritual transition. And transitions are always uncomfortable right before the revelation settles. Let it be uncomfortable. It means your atmosphere is expanding. And yes, the wait has been long. But what if I told you that every minute you waited added an inch to your blessing size? What if I told you the delay was never denial, it was divine timing stacking interest? You're not late. You're not forgotten. You're actually right on time. The right people are being awakened to your name. The right opportunities are circling around your path. You won't have to chase, only position yourself. Keep your spirit clean. Keep your heart open. Stay ready, beloved. Because what's coming is not just good, it's God. My child, can I remind you of something? Something that even your inner voice forgot to whisper. You were born with a war around your destiny. Not because you were weak, but because you were dangerous to darkness. The enemy saw your light even before you learned to speak. He saw how people would gather around you. How your kindness would heal others in secret. How your very presence could shift a room without you even saying a word. That's why the attack started early. That's why you were misunderstood even as a child. That's why your peace was targeted over and over again. But what hell didn't factor in, is that you were built with God's breath. Every hit you took didn't break you, it refined you. Every betrayal didn't destroy you, it sharpened your discernment. Every tear you cried watered the roots of a tree whose fruit is now almost ready to drop into your lap. And beloved, God does not let seeds go unrewarded. He never forgets where pain has been planted. He always sends harvest to the heart that keeps beating, even while bleeding. You weren't just protected, you were preserved. Because there's something about your name that was written in divine ink. Not the kind that fades with time or pressure, but eternal ink. Ink that angels see. Ink that heaven won't erase, even when you doubt yourself. You've looked in the mirror and questioned, is it still possible? You've wrestled with your own reflection wondering if the promise still stands. And I'm here to tell you, it does. The promise is alive. Even if you don't feel ready. Even if you're scared. Even if you think it's too late. Because the promise doesn't rely on your perfection, it relies on God's consistency. And God hasn't changed His mind about you. Right now, even as you read this, Archangel Michael is walking through the spiritual corridors of your life, clearing debris, slashing lies, untying knots that have blocked your peace for too long. He's breaking agreements made in secret about your name. Agreements of failure. Agreements of delay. Agreements of limitation. Those contracts are being ripped up right now, in the name of the Most High. Michael isn't just protecting you from danger. He's protecting you from settling. From lowering your standards. From shrinking your voice just to make others comfortable. Because you weren't made for smallness. You weren't created to be hidden. And no matter how many times they told you to dim down, be quiet, stay humble, God is saying, rise. Shine. Take your place. Speak with fire. Walk with certainty. You are not who they said you were. You are who I say you are. And who does God say you are? You are a divine solution to a generational problem. You are the one that breaks cycles. You are the interruption to patterns of pain, loss, addiction, poverty, silence, abuse. You are not a continuation, you are a confrontation. And that's why the enemy has hated you for so long. Because you weren't supposed to make it. Statistically, you should have fallen. Spiritually, you were marked. Emotionally, you were targeted. But look at you, still here. Still reading. Still carrying a heart full of compassion even when the world gave you reasons to grow cold. Still seeking God. Still holding on, even if by a thread. That, my child, is miraculous. That alone has triggered heaven's attention. And heaven doesn't visit without a purpose. In the next 48 hours, something strange may begin to happen. You may feel waves of energy. You may wake up suddenly at night with your heart racing. You may feel like you're being called, even when no one is in the room. Don't ignore it. That is the shift. That is the new timeline opening. That is the spiritual page turning in real time. It may feel overwhelming. It may feel emotional. You might cry unexpectedly. You might remember things you buried. But it's all part of the reset. God is pulling out the residue of what tried to poison your faith. And as it leaves, you'll begin to breathe differently. You'll notice the heaviness in your chest lifting, the headaches disappearing, the anxiety shrinking. That's not just recovery, that's revival. And now, I must give you this next warning. Michael says there is someone near you, or near your circle, whose heart is not pure. They act in kindness. They dress in smiles. But their spirit is tied to envy. They've watched your progress in secret. And when you post or speak or shine, they feel the sting of comparison rather than celebration. Do not fear them. But do not reveal your next steps to them either. Silence is your protection in this season. Heaven is asking you to be selective with your joy. Because not everyone who claps is happy. Some are clapping because they know the light is too bright for them to fight anymore. Keep shining, but don't share everything. Not until God tells you it's time. And now, something very, very powerful. The miracle you've been waiting for, the breakthrough you've prayed for in tears, is closer than you think. You don't need to beg for it anymore. It's already been released. But here's the secret, it's not coming in the package you expect. It may not look like what you dreamed. It may arrive through a strange coincidence, a last-minute shift, a mistake that turns out to be divine redirection. Be open. Don't resist the change. The path may curve suddenly. The person bringing the answer may not be who you expected. But the moment it arrives, you'll feel it in your soul. Like something inside you stands up and says, "This is it." And beloved, when it comes, remember this, you are worthy of it. Don't push it away. Don't tell yourself you're not ready. Don't try to sabotage it with fear or guilt or past wounds. You've waited long enough. You've learned the lessons. You've done the soul work. And even when you didn't feel faithful, you remained open. That's what God honors, not perfection, but posture. And your posture has been leaning toward heaven, even when your body was tired. That's why the heavens are leaning toward you now. There was a moment, years ago, maybe even months or just days, where you almost let go. You know the one. The moment when it all felt like too much. When the silence felt heavier than the prayers you were whispering. When you said in your heart, "If nothing changes soon, I don't know if I can keep doing this." You didn't even say it out loud. But God heard it. Archangel Michael wrote it down. That's why this message is in front of you now. Because what you called weakness, heaven called a summons. A holy cry for divine help. And help is coming, not just spiritually, but tangibly. God is about to place something in your hands. A confirmation. A shift. A door you couldn't force open is going to swing wide, and you won't even need a key. The key was always your obedience, even when it didn't make sense. You were loyal when you could have walked away. You chose the higher path when no one saw. You sacrificed more than anyone knows, and you didn't ask for applause. You just kept going. That's why this blessing has your name etched on it. This isn't recycled favor. This is custom-crafted compensation for everything that tried to drain you. You gave from a dry cup. You encouraged others when your own soul was breaking. You smiled when all you wanted was someone to ask how you were doing. And now, it's coming full circle. Because heaven does not forget sacrifice. Angels do not ignore tears. And Michael has fought battles on your behalf that would terrify most. But you? You're still standing. And now, you're about to start ascending. What happens next won't make sense to people around you. They will say it came out of nowhere. They'll call it luck. A fluke. A coincidence. But you'll know the truth. You'll know this was a result of every seed buried in silence. Every yes you gave God when you were hurting. Every time you stood back up when no one clapped. Every moment you worshiped through the warfare. This miracle is your spiritual inheritance. And it's no longer delayed. God says, now. Not next week. Not in a distant season. Now. The atmosphere around you is already reacting to it. That's why you felt strange in the last 48 hours. That's why your dreams have shifted. That's why your body has been tired, your emotions stirred. Because change is not coming, it's here. Michael says the next 7 days are sacred. In these 7 days, doors will open. Secrets will be revealed. Someone from your past may reappear, but not to cause chaos. This time, it's for closure. Be careful how you respond. Some people are returning not because they've changed, but because they can feel your breakthrough coming and want to attach themselves to your overflow. Be wise. You can forgive and still close the door. And for others, there will be a divine appointment. A soul you've never met who will recognize you in the spirit. They will be drawn to you with holy curiosity. This connection is not accidental. It's part of the alignment. A divine helper. A bridge to what God is building through you. You may find yourself in unexpected places, rooms you didn't plan to be in, meetings you didn't schedule, conversations that seem out of place. Don't retreat. You've been praying for elevation, and elevation never feels comfortable at first. You'll have to adjust to the altitude. But don't let fear make you descend. Stand tall. Speak truth. Trust that God wouldn't place you anywhere you weren't already prepared for. What's inside you has matured. The version of you reading this message today? This is your launch version. The former you was in training. But this one, this you, is chosen to be seen. Now let's go into the next layer. There is a place God is preparing for you. A spiritual location that will begin manifesting in the natural soon. It may be a physical move, a career shift, or even a spiritual mantle you've never carried before. But you must be prepared to move when the Spirit prompts you. Don't wait for logic to approve what God is commanding. Obedience will unlock what your strategy never could. You'll feel the pull. You'll know it's time. The enemy will try to make you hesitate. He'll use fear, doubt, even people you trust to question the direction. But you'll know. Deep down, you will know. Because peace will accompany the discomfort. Not comfort, but peace. The kind that surpasses understanding. That's your sign. Michael is also issuing a very specific instruction: watch your words in this season. What you speak over yourself matters more than ever. Life and death are in your tongue, and your future is listening. Don't speak curses over your path out of frustration. Don't repeat the language of fear that others are using. You are being called to speak like royalty now. Declare what heaven is saying, not what earth is showing. Say, I am ready. Say, I am blessed. Say, my miracle is not delayed, it's arriving. Every word is a seed. And the harvest is closer than you think. And if I could place my hand on your heart now, I'd tell you this softly: you are not too late. You didn't miss it. The enemy lied to you. The timeline didn't pass you by. You are exactly where you need to be, even if it looks nothing like what you imagined. This detour was a divine classroom. It taught you things ease never could. It refined your fire. It purified your purpose. You've been forged in silence. Now, you will be revealed in power. Heaven has spoken. The scroll has been opened. And your name is bolded in gold. There are some things about you that not even you understand fully. You've felt out of place most of your life. Like a guest in your own story. Like you were never truly seen, or if you were, it was only in fragments. People liked what you gave. They were drawn to your light. But they rarely stayed long enough to understand your shadows. They praised your strength, but didn't ask where your strength came from. They didn't know the nights you cried to God, whispering into the pillow, "Just give me a reason to keep going." And now, here it is. This is that reason. This is that divine moment where God says, you weren't broken. You were becoming. You weren't forgotten. You were being forged. And now, it's time for the revelation of who you really are. You are more than your trauma. More than your upbringing. More than your disappointments. You are a spiritual warrior cloaked in human skin. And the battles you've faced weren't personal, they were prophetic. Because every time you stood back up, you sent a message to hell: I'm still here. I still believe. I still choose love. I still choose light. And heaven saw it. Every time. And now, heaven is sending it back to you. But this time, not in whispers. Not in tiny blessings, but in a storm of favor so undeniable that even your enemies will say, God is with them. Michael is still standing, sword still in hand, wings still wide. And he's speaking softly now, but you can feel the strength in his words. He says there's a final test before the full release. One last temptation that will appear suddenly. It may come through someone you care about. It may come as an opportunity that looks good, but doesn't feel right. You must discern carefully. You must not sell your soul for short-term applause. Because what God has for you is so much bigger than what is being offered in haste. Be still. Be wise. Be alert. The enemy knows he's running out of time with you, so he will try anything to pull you off your path. Don't let him. This is where you take your power back. This is where you choose the long path, the right path, not the fast one. Now let's speak of love. Because I know your heart has longed for it, ached for it in quiet ways you've hidden even from yourself. Archangel Michael has seen it. God has felt it. That desire to be known, deeply and safely. To be chosen without condition. To be held without having to earn it. And here is what heaven wants you to know, love is coming. But not just any love. Not the kind that makes you shrink. Not the kind that asks you to dim. Not the kind that breaks you then says sorry with flowers. No, beloved. Divine love. Love that mirrors your growth. Love that speaks your language. Love that feels like peace, not performance. The kind of love that sees your soul before it sees your skin. It's been prepared for you just as much as you've been prepared for it. And very soon, you'll feel a connection so strong, it will silence the noise of all the past disappointments. Don't chase it. Don't beg for it. Just remain open, and let God orchestrate what only He can sustain. There's also something about your voice that's about to change. You've spoken for others. You've advocated for justice. You've comforted the broken. But now, it's time for your voice to rise for you. For your story. For your truth. You will no longer water yourself down. You will no longer apologize for your passion. Heaven is placing a holy fire in your throat, a boldness that will upset systems, confront manipulation, and liberate those who've been silently watching your strength from afar. Your words will carry oil. And when you speak, chains will break. You may be called to speak publicly. Or write. Or create. Or lead. Don't resist it. You're not unqualified. You're not unprepared. Everything you've been through was training. And now, the platform is shifting beneath your feet. Not because you asked for it, but because you've earned it in the Spirit. And God always honors those who didn't quit in the wilderness. You survived what others didn't. Now it's time to thrive where others couldn't. And yes, there will be jealousy. Yes, there will be whispers. Yes, there will be some who try to discredit your rise because they thought they knew who you were. But don't defend yourself. Don't explain yourself. Just walk in favor. Let God be your announcement. Let results be your rebuttal. You owe no one an explanation for the way heaven chooses to bless you. If they didn't cry with you in the dark, they don't get to critique you in the light. Your finances are also being targeted for a divine correction. What you've lacked, what you've lost, what has felt withheld, it's all being recalculated. There is provision already en route to your life. It may not show up as a lottery ticket or a bank alert overnight. It may come as an opportunity, a connection, an idea, a new stream. But the key is stewardship. God is about to trust you with more, because you've shown you can handle little without complaining. And that's the language of increase. Prepare your spirit. Prepare your house. Prepare your heart. Because the overflow is not just coming to you, it's going to flow through you. You'll bless others in ways you once needed to be blessed. That's the full circle. That's the miracle. Now, hear this carefully, your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your story is being whispered between angels. Your image is being revealed to those who will help carry you to your next level. Don't worry about how. Don't obsess over when. Just know, it is happening. Quietly. Divinely. Without your striving. Because grace does what hustle can't. Because the hand of God is stronger than any algorithm. And because when heaven says, now, no demon, no delay, no doubt can stop it. Beloved, stay ready. The wind is shifting. And you? You are the storm now.